Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to our program. So earlier we were discussing about the prospect of Russia offering Islamic banking services, and I was saying that whenever any entity that plans to set up a business or any institution that carry an Islamic label, then the Muslim would be the first to come in to benefit from the new services, I presume, and therefore the expectation is that this business or these services should be able to evidence full compliance to Shariah or Islamic law. I have earlier provide some of the criteria to which Sharia compliance can be ascertained, and these are the product, distribution of profit to the investment account, and the derecognition of income from impure transaction. And then we got the reporting of the zakat payment by the bank, and finally the reporting of any non-Sharia compliance event to the central bank. So these are the 5 parameter that is used to for the bank to disclose their banking operation, to ensure that this banking operation are in line with Sharia. But then the question here is, once Sharia compliance status is achieved, does it mean that the bank is able to perform, or will the bank be able to perform in a superior manner, maybe better than conventional bank? So this is the question that the economic and the finance department will be assessing. The Sharia department or the Sharia people will be engaged in the Sharia compliance assessment, contract, investment account, derecognition of non-halal income, zakat obligation, reporting of Sharia non-compliance events. So these are all the mandate given to Sharia scholars to make their assessment and evaluation and their final decision. But when it comes to the assessment of banking performance of Islamic bank, then these are jobs given to economists and financial analysts. And we can see here that at least when we are talking about how a bank is impacting the economy, or how the bank is impacting economic development, of course, when we look at Russia, who is planning to introduce Islamic banking, then it implies that the bank should be able to impact some sort of positive, positive, or the bank should be giving some positivity to the economic development of Russia, and therefore, and this is something that we need to assess, and therefore providing a much more holistic and dynamic understanding of Islamic banking, where it should go beyond Sharia compliant parameter. So number one would be economic growth. So we would like to see that when the Islamic bank is providing services or financial offering to the population, then it should be able to generate economic growth, meaning that it should be able to add on new goods and services. So there should be production in agriculture, in manufacturing, in the sector where Russia is good at, for example. So economic growth is a very important indicator how the bank is able to be part of So if the bank is not able to make enough financing or loan, or the bank is not able to mobilize enough deposit, and therefore it will not be able to, provide the financing to the respective sector. So the household sector, the business sector require funding, and therefore if there is not enough deposit to make loan or to make murabaha, for example, then it will have a lesser impact on economic growth. All right. So number 2 would be profitability. To what extent the Islamic banking business is able to generate profit. Because again, profitability is one component of GDP, and it also provide an idea how efficient is the bank in using their resources to make loan, because the idea of banking, the output of banking is basically the deposit and the loan or the financing, and therefore we should expect that the Islamic bank is able to generate earning from the financing extended to the respective customer. So profitability is explained by many factors, and these are, for example, banking capital. The more capital the bank has, the more financing it is able to support, right? And again, NPL is another factor that affect profitability. So high NPL, high defaults will reduce profit. And of course, we are looking at liquidity. So if the bank is have excess liquidity or excess cash balances, then you will not be able to effectively use the deposit fund to make the financing, and therefore profit may decline. So these are the factor internal to the bank, and then of course there are other factor external to the bank, like the economy, inflation. So all of these factor, should be imputed into the study of how the Islamic bank is able to generate profit from their business. And we do hope that the Islamic bank will play a very positive role to promote economic growth and to ensure that the bank are able to profit enough in order to survive and to continue their businesses. Financial stability is, of course, we would like to see that the bank is able to contribute to the stability of the company, that we do not want to see the bank to be overly aggressive and leading to huge defaults and even becoming insolvent. And when many banks be insolvent or falling into bankruptcy, it will be able to destabilize the economy, because a bank will no longer be able to make loans or financing, and that will be frustrating to the economic sector who are in need of liquidity in order to produce. Financial stability also refers to the fact that the Islamic bank should be less fragile, that it is less susceptible to boom and bust, that it is anti-cyclical, and if the economy is bullish or inflationary, then the bank should be able to evidence some form of smoothing, or to ensure that this inflation or recession are worsened by the banking pro-cyclical behavior. So financial stability is another parameter to evidence that the bank, the Islamic bank, is a better bank due to the fact that it is operated not based on riba but based on profit sharing. Income distribution is another indicator to show that the Islamic bank is able to play a role in poverty elimination, or any role in the reduction of income disparity. So income distribution, we hear a lot about conventional banking getting the rich richer and the poor poorer. The rich are the ones who are able to take loan or to have access to banking facility because they have collateral, they have property, they have income, they have capital, cash flow, and so on. So the rich people are the viable borrower, they are the good paymaster. But the poorer people without collateral, they are the one who can be excluded from the banking system, and therefore, these people are not able to command any cake, any share in the cake. And therefore, if the Islamic Bank is able to evidence that as they do business, income distribution is getting better, then that would be a very good news. However, if there are evidence that the income disparity is getting worse, then something needs to be done to ensure that the Islamic Bank function in accordance to the expectation of justice. And finally, sustainability is a new fashion today. Everybody is talking about ESG and SDG and making sure that their company are able to observe the sustainability objective. And many banks themselves are trying to see that the loan or financing extended to companies are those able to capture the sustainability factor. So if the bank make murabaha to a company that is polluting the environment, or there is unethical due to the fact that they are using cheap labor or child labor in their factory and so on, or there is some kind of corruption or scandal that has taken place in their top management, and therefore the Islamic Bank or bank may not want to give the loan, or even if they gave the loan, it will be at high interest rate or profit rate. So these are the things that I presume that Islamic Bank should be able to evidence to all of the stakeholders that they are able to provide positive input to economic development. And economic development means that there are some social aspect that has been attended, such as income distribution and sustainability. Okay, so these are some of the brief review that I can provide today. Inshallah, as we move along, we can further look into this matter in detail. Thank you very much. Don't forget to comment and to share and to subscribe. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.